and they're not treated in the same way. So if his behavior had been bad, for example, well, they'll start over with the violations in the code of conduct field.
Somebody from the crowd shouted out earlier.
I don't think it helped Wilander, but here is break point now, and a massive point for Ivan Lendl. And Lendl shrieks, and he knows that at last he's back in this match.
Wilander leads 4-3. Can you give me 15 seconds? No, that's the rule. It says I can't give you 15 seconds. What do you mean you can't give me 15 seconds? I'm not allowed to. I've played on tour for 6 years. Everybody's having 15 seconds. Only when you're still sitting here at the changeover. Not when you're playing. I can't. How can you ask for him, okay?
That refers to what you just said, Cliff.
Okay. One.
He's making reference, and you could hear the discussion to the fact that couldn't you have given me at least an indication that I was beginning to take too much time, and the response from the umpire was exactly as the rule reads, which is no. The minute that you get to the 30-second, into a 30-second situation, he's going to call it on you, and he did on Mats Wilander.
Now, when they're sitting there, like now is the time you'll say you only have 15 seconds to get back out on court.
That's correct, but that's of course not the same thing when you're out there between points. You have the 30, and I like the rule. I think that's how it's got to be done. And by the way, I like the separation too, because clearly it is not that bad a deal. That's Ken Farrar, close to you. He's the Grand Prix supervisor, the Men's Tennis Council official.
But interestingly, that was the first time in the whole match that Wilander lost a big point.
It probably did throw him off. You still can't believe that he did it. And I think he feels that Lendl is taking more time than he is on his serve, so why hasn't he been called? This is the time you have to regroup, start over, put all that in the past.
Lendl is set down, serving now to level up in the second set at 4 apiece. That's the difference. That was just a minute or so ago. But Wilander composed, just the right intensity now.
Wilander said yesterday, when you play Lendl, you just hope that he doesn't serve at his best, because then it's really hard, because you have trouble holding your own service games, and he wins his service games very easily. And indeed, Lendl has not served well today. We knew going into this match that it would be a key.
And both of these players do rely heavily on the return serve. They're so superior in that department.
A bit more spring in Lendl's step now.
Well, he's getting that first serve in. You see what happens when he does. But Wilander still got it back. Still made Lendl play the ball one more extra time. That can wear you down after a while.
Superb shot.
Well, we talk about Wilander makes Lendl hit one more shot, but look what happened. From a defensive situation, he won the point. Lendl almost has to hit a perfect serve to win the point outright.
Lendl getting charged up. Three games in a row.
See that reaction from him. As we said, he has had so many chances, and until the last time that Mats Wilander served, he just hadn't been able to convert.
Love 15.
As you said, Simon, if Mats Wilander wins this match, he will be the #1 player in the world. Wilander beat Cash in the Australian Open. He beat LeConte at the French. And, of course, Stefan Edberg beat Boris Becker at Wimbledon. Edberg lost to the American Aaron Krickstein here.
It was on a horrible night. It was windy. And Krickstein, Edberg didn't look as if he could see the ball that well.
5 long sets.
Edberg also won the Grand Slam of junior tennis.
And then Cahill from Australia beat Krickstein to get to the semi-final.
And it's funny, when you're beginning to get on a roll, the luck does go with you. Little things like net cords.
Well, your confidence starts to go up. Your inner time is, your intensity level gets to be right. This is absolutely a huge point for all 30 all for both players. Wilander hesitated. I think he was thinking about going to net. One thing we learn as youngsters, don't hesitate. Make a commitment and stick with it. Sometimes it might even be the wrong one. When you hesitate, you're getting deeper trouble.
So what a change round now. Break point for Lendl. Extraordinary change round in the last 20 minutes. 4-1 up, Wilander was. And he's now lost 4 games in a row. Billie Jean, I can't account for it.
Well, I think he's had a couple of problems. He missed a high forehand volley, which he thought was in, and he started to get a little upset, but he quickly changed his mind and got back in the match. And then when Jay Snyder warned him, when he got over 30 seconds on his service, he couldn't believe it. And I think those 2 factors have broken his concentration. And he's become a little tentative on how he's going to try to beat Lendl. And there you see people sweeping off the court. That's Mr. Lendl's sawdust.
You know, it always happens that there's never only one side to a change in fortunes. Lendl has started to play better. Clearly, he was tight in the first set. Now, with Mats Wilander really haven't given him an opening, he's not only taken it, but he realizes now that this match is very much within his grasp. interesting thing to me is that while Mats Wilander will be the #1 player in the world if he wins this, that since the start of the ATP computer 15 years ago, only 6 players have ever made it to the #1 spot. He'll be the 7th. The others are John Newcomb, Ilya Nastasic, Jimmy Connors, Bjorn Borg, McEnroe, and of course Ivan Lendl, who's been there for 3 years. But it's amazing how few players in the history of our sport make it all the way to the top.
Ivan Lendl has been at the top 156 weeks. He needs 3 more weeks to break Jimmy Connors' record of 159 consecutive weeks as world's #1.
There's Tennis Hall of Fame shirt, antique rackets, all kinds of things out here in the outer part of the court.
Lendl looks dominant here as he serves to try and level up at 1 set apiece.
Now you know how the player looks watching that. That's how Vin looks. It's a great angle, just inside the corner.
Quiet, please, up in the corner.
Oh, no.
You saw some selling going on below in the stadium. One of the things they're selling a lot of is these cross-training shoes that you see Mats Wilander wearing. McEnroe started the fashion. Agassi wears them now. They're not tennis shoes, they're cross-training shoes. You could use them for basketball, for jogging. They have some support that makes it possible to use them for tennis as well. Potentially 2 points from the set.
Lendl's hitting the ball so much harder, and you can see that Mats didn't quite get in position to be able to handle that. What a difference in the last 2 or 3 games.
First set, exactly an hour. The second set, 59 minutes we've been going. 3 set points now for the world's #1.
There's that sawdust he puts on his grip to keep it dry.
Second set round there, 6-4. Ball change.
From 4-1 down, 6-4 to Lendl. Here's the reaction.
See how in that forehand, when he takes the racket back, he bends the elbow and the racket head down. That's Samantha Frankel on the right-hand side. Tony Roche sitting next to her from Australia. Lendl's coach, of course. No change of sides. And a lot of folks, though, after the set in the stadium have got up.
Quiet, please.
What's going on, Billie Jean, in Wilander's head now? What's he got to say to himself?